Hey, everybody, this is Downtown Bruno, and you're listening to Live and in Color with Wolfie D. It's like Mama says, it be that way sometimes.
Hey, this is Jimmy Street, host of the Live and in Color with Wolfie D podcast. Hear the life and times of professional wrestler Wolfie D. From his time in the territories with PG-13 to his time in WWE, ECW, WCW, TNA, and more. Nothing is off limits and nothing will be held back. Thanks again for tuning in. Here he is, Wolfie D.
Here we go. Once again, Live and in Color with Wolfie D. Jimmy across the street.
What
Thanks
up?
for tuning in. And what's going on, my dude?
Not much, brother. Just, doing the thing.
What exactly is the thing?
I don't know anymore, man. I was going to say chiseling like a vizillin, but I already ran that one out. So,
Okay.
I have to come up with something.
I guess existing, just
Existing.
making it day by day.
Yeah, I'm riding the marble in the sky. You know what I mean?
All right.
I don't know what that means.
I'm on a magic carpet ride.
There you go. I like it. We had a great show last week, man. A lot of people are tuning in for that. When Gangrel turned it up, man. I love that show. So a lot of fun.
Dude, and he's one of the coolest dudes, man, that I've met in my wrestling career. I really like him as a person, man.
He seems like a guy that you would like as a person. That's actually the cool people would gravitate to him.
Oh, yeah.
So that's awesome. There's kind of a sadness. We lost our listener, Bob Daniels. He lost his wife, Wendy Daniels. So it was a week or two ago from now that this show is dropping. But I just wanted to give a condolences to Bob.
Yeah, that's terrible. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, great listener of the show. Thank you always for supporting us, sharing our stuff, listening every week and sending in questions and just being an overall supporter of the Wolfie D podcast. So we hope that you have peace, brother. I'm definitely sorry to hear about it.
Yeah, so that'd be kind of a rough thing to get through, I would imagine. And I hope all the other listeners will send their prayers or good vibes or whatever it is you do to Bob. We appreciate him, and that's a tough spot for any human being to have to go through. So
Absolutely. I know I kind of took it down there, but man, things have been going good for the show. I'm feeling confident with everything that's going on. We've had some great guests. Ronnie Garvin, and I want to say this, y'all. Nobody brought it up, but thank y'all for putting up with that show. Now that show, the interview was great, but unfortunately, when we recorded it, Ronnie was on probably like a 1990s cordless phone or something. It's all I can assume.
We're not positive. We think that's
culprit
of the little chirpy chirps.
Yeah, so, and Wolfie and I both knew about it immediately, too. That's the thing. Because at the end of the call, you were like, bro, man, what was that? And I'm like, it's not good, I don't think. So I think there was something to do with feedback, whether one of them was on speakerphone or one of them wasn't. And, it was something we had never tried before. And George actually kind of, spearheaded that for us. So again, thank you, George. I think the interview was too good for me to scrap it, even though in the middle of editing it, I thought about it. I was like, this is just too bad. But hey, y'all turned out in droves for it. Listen to it. You apparently, you can deal with it. I've just heard it many times now since editing and recording and all that. So, but we apologize for that. We will try to work around things like that in the future. But this was just, we're almost 100 episodes in and still a learning experience, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And you do a great job. I know it sounded a lot better than it did originally. I know you worked on it and tried to fix some of it as best you could. And I don't think
thank you
understand the amount of work you put into these shows and everything. But I'm sure.
Yeah. And thank you, brother. I appreciate that. But nobody said anything. My brother did, but my brother's gonna, because I count on him for that. Just like I count on you for that real thing, because sometimes you need that, if you want to, iron sharpens iron, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my brother was like, what is that feet? What is that? Is that on my side? And I'm like, no, it's not. We know about it. But anyway, thank y'all for listening to that. And also thank you for listening to Gangrel, which was smooth as a button. We just, we didn't get Gangrel as long as we would have liked. But, when we hung up, Wolfie, what did I say to you? I said, man, I felt good about that. Like we really trimmed the fat,
Yeah.
And we didn't get a chance to ask a question that didn't really land. Everything landed, and it was good, man. I hope y'all enjoyed it.
Yeah, I know I did. Like I said, I love that dude, man. But anyway, another dude that I love is coming up here. Hadn't talked to him in quite some time, and made contact with him a few weeks ago after years of not talking to him, not because I didn't like him, but we just kind of lost contact. It's one of those things that happens in the wrestling business. But we got Downtown Bruno coming up.
I love it. Yeah. Just such a good dude, man. Like, extremely good dude. I got his number before we do this interview because I need to have it. So I sent him a text, and man, he's just like so nice. He's just like, hey brother, how you doing? Just like a friend. And he's just one of those good dudes. And I think that's what's led to his continued, success in this business. Sometimes the nice guys do, get there too, So anyway, I think Bruno is, if you take anything from Bruno, I think that nice guys do finish first sometimes. So,
True.
Yeah.
True.
Anyway, well, you want to talk to him? Let's get him on the line here.
Let's get him on the line.
All right. We'll be right back after what, Wolfie D?
These messages?
Yeah. All right. Be right back.
Getting engaged is a moment worth cherishing. A one-of-a-kind ring that you design at Blue Nile can help your love sparkle. Just choose your diamond and setting. When you've found the one, you'll get it delivered right to your door. Finding the right engagement ring can be nerve-wracking. At Blue Nile, you'll have the expert guidance needed and a diamond guarantee that ensures you're getting the highest quality at the best price. Cherish all of life's moments and save up to 30% at BlueNile.com. That's BlueNile.com.
Hey folks, to get your official Live It in Color with Wolfie D merchandise, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Live Wolfie D. Check it out.
If you're listening to Live and in Color with Wolfie D on Apple Podcast and like what you're hearing, go ahead and leave a 5-star rating. And while you're at it, write a review. Tell us what you liked. Tell us what you'd like to hear in the future. It's very important to us and always appreciated. Thanks again.
All right, folks, we are back. And as promised, we have another person that I met, man, in my early days in the wrestling business, not when I very first started in the Outlaws, but when I got my break in Memphis, this great manager was around. He's also a great referee, and some things I didn't know. He actually wrestled in his earlier days, and we'll talk about some of that later. But I want to introduce everybody to one of the coolest dudes in the wrestling business and known him for a long time, Downtown Bruno. Thanks for joining us.
Man, I'm so happy to be on this broadcast with y'all. I've heard nothing but great things about it. Actually, I did a podcast 2 weeks ago with a guy named John McCall. He goes by Mayor McCall. It's called Wrestle Talk.
Yeah,
Mayor McCall, and it's a great podcast. And they're the ones that told me that, man, if you can do Wolfie D and Jimmy Streets, it'll be great. They said that y'all were great guys, which I know Wolfie is. I've known him for 25 or more years. But I mean, they just really, Mayor McCall, that's, it's his nickname. He's not the mayor of nothing, but, it's his nickname. Mayor McCall said y'all had a great podcast. So that's why, I did theirs and I'm doing y'all's. Anytime there's a good recommendation for somebody, by God, I'm happy to help out.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Man, they are great guys. And I highly recommend them to all of our listeners. I was going to do that, but Bruno, you did the heavy lifting for me, brother. So thank you.
Okay. All right, cool then. All right, thanks. Have a good night. Goodbye. I'm just kidding.
Hey, man, it's something that I didn't know about you, man. Because like I said a minute ago, I didn't really know that, as a kid growing up in Nashville and watching Memphis wrestling, the first time I ever saw you was on Memphis TV as a manager. And I didn't know that there was a before that where you actually wrestled, like Jonathan Boyd helped you out and stuff like that up in Pittsburgh. So you were like a wrestler at first instead of a manager?
Well, I did some wrestling, but it was always with midgets or girls. You know what I mean? I was a big guy. I started out in 79, which is funny. They just did a thing for me April 8th in Dyersburg, Pro Wrestling Mid-South, because literally April 8th, 1979 was my first day in the business.
Yeah, I had no idea.
This was my 44th anniversary. Yeah, so
that's awesome.
But yeah, I wrestled some and I managed and I did whatever. And there was no plan B for me. Once I committed, this is what I'm going to do. I had to do whatever was necessary to maintain my living in the business, and luckily I worked hard at it. I ain't going to say it's luck, but I've been very fortunate that I've always been able to make a living at my chosen profession. But Jonathan Boyd helped me out when I was getting rolling. Dale Mann, who out of Kentucky, great guy to help me out. Yes, great guy. I don't think he's with us anymore, and I hate that.
No, I don't think so.
He was really good to me, and then I got my first break in the business from Rocky Johnson, who I'm very close with, and then I got my big break from Lawler, and everything went from there. So there's a lot of people that I owe a lot to.
That's awesome.
Let me ask you how that worked out. How did you meet Lawler, and how did that start? How did you get to Memphis?
Okay, here's the deal on that. I was working in Kansas City for the NWA, Bob Geigel's Central States Wrestling in 1982, I think it was. And Rocky Johnson was there. He came in, and I was just refereeing at the time and putting up the ring and taking it down or whatever. Yeah. And anybody that knows me knows that, I'm not shy in any kind of way, and I'm always having fun. I'm joking with people and laughing and cutting up and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And Rocky told Bob Geigel I should be a manager. He said, man, this guy would be a great manager. You look at him, he's a little bitty guy. He can run around. He can talk his ass off. Make him a manager. So Bob Geigel, great guy. God bless him. He's not with us anymore either. And I'm not putting him down in any way because I love him. But he was old school, old time. As a manager, he didn't want me to be like Jimmy Hart or whatever. He wanted me to stand in the corner with a suit on. And, make the interviews. And then if I was involved in something, go over to the ring, trip the guy or whatever, and go back and sit down or stand there. And it didn't use me the way that, I knew I was
the potential
enough to, potential. So Rocky said, why don't you come to Hawaii? And I said, really? He goes, yeah, we got a territory over there. Peter Maivia, Leo Maivia, me. And he goes, why don't we bring you to Hawaii? Let you manage. You can do your thing over there.
Yeah.
And so this is somewhere in 82. Well, 83, I wound up in Hawaii, and I was managing and doing what, like I've always done, running around the ring, tripping the guys, this, that, and the other. And then there was a big show at the Aloha Stadium, and they brought Lawler in. And we were doing the TV at the NBC Center, Neil Bladesdell Convention Center in Honolulu. And Lawler seen me out there managing some people, and he thought I was doing a great job. So he asked Rocky and Lars Anderson, who was doing the booking, if I could manage him. And they said, well, sure, if you want him to manage you. And Lawler loved the way I managed him. Yeah. He said, shit. He goes, we'd love to have you in Memphis. He goes, the problem is we got Jimmy Hart, and, we don't need two guys of the same, gimmick or whatever.
Yeah.
So, long story short, when Hart left to go to WWF, the spot was there.
There it opened up.
And that was it. And that was my break.
And that was what year? What year was that when you first started Memphis?
First started Memphis. I'm the world's worst at these things on that. It was probably 84, 85.
Yeah. But, so you were part of the... You were part of the deal when they had, and I've heard these from Jamie because obviously I wasn't there and he was not really wrestling at that point or whatever. But were you a part of the bus rides from Memphis to Texas?
No, I never went. No, no, I never was one of the ones that went to Texas. I never went, not one time. What they would do is when a lot of the guys would go to Texas, for the world class or whatever it was at the time, or I guess it was USWA by then. No, they would have like Buddy Wayne or Eddie Marlin or somebody would have a show in Jonesboro or Blytheville, whatever. And it would be like the local guys that would not go. For example, me, Don Bass, King Cobra, Ken Wayne, whoever, the guys that didn't go down there. Because world class or USWA, whatever it was, I already had their managers. I think it was Percy Pringle might have been still there before he went to
that makes sense.
So
I was just hoping to get some shenanigans out of you, because I just heard the stories of the bus rides down there. So I was hoping you'd have a good shenanigan story for me or something.
No, I never was on the bus ride, and it's funny. I was talking to Lauer about it one time about the bus ride, and he says, Bruno, he goes, I don't want to ride 8 hours or 10 hours round trip on a bus with 20 people I like.
Absolutely, man.
So I wish I could help you on that, but no, I never made those.
Oh, that's good.
Those trips.
So let me ask you this, man, because we ask the guests this sometimes, and I want to know your honest opinion. When you first saw me and Jamie come into Memphis, because I know there were some people that thought Jerry Jarrett had lost his mind by hiring us. And so when we first come in with that gimmick, what was your first impression?
Well, I mean, all bullshit aside, I'm not going to bullshit you.
No, please don't.
I honestly, I took the wait and see attitude. I knew Jamie was Jamie, and anybody knows him.
Right.
I don't have to explain that any further. I mean, I had his very first match ever. I put him over in his first match. And thing about Jamie is, he can be abrasive sometimes. He can be disruptive sometimes. We've all grown up, and I'm not avoiding the question. I just want to throw this, and I'm going to go back to what you asked.
Yeah,
I got to see Jamie last month, which is what hooked us back together, you and me. Because when I seen him in Blytheville, me and him have had our ups and downs. We had problems over women and different bullshit over the years, But that's all water underneath the bridge. We hugged and got along like the greatest thing in the world when we see each other, which was great. So, but getting back to that, I knew Jamie was. I mean, and he'll tell you this himself, I'm sure. And I say, putting him down. He's no Shawn Michaels, he's no whatever. It's a ring, but he had a way to get over. Once he's became himself instead of being out there with like when he first wrestled me, when he was with the V-neck sweater and trying to be the nerdy guy. That didn't work. Now,
right.
With you, Wolf, I never met you before that, so I took a wait and see. And once again, I'm not kissing your ass, and I'm being truthful. I realized that you are really an above-average worker, and I really feel like that. Thankfully, you were there for the team, and y'all did draw good money in Memphis. So I had zero complaints about y'all. I mean, I had a lot of complaints about Jamie when we were having issues over stuff. But I mean, I can honestly say that, and Jimmy, this is true too. And Wolfie will tell you, Wolfie and me never one time had a crossword ever.
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
So believe me, it's not like certain people, and I'm not going to mention names. The one thing about me when I do these podcasts and stuff, I don't knock nobody. If it's somebody
we're not. But we're not like that either.
But there's certain people that I would say, like if we were just in a bar somewhere talking or whatever, I'd say, that's sorry, whatever. There was some people that walked in. I said, what is wrong? Why are they using this guy? And I don't like to talk bad about nobody. Therefore, I'm not going to talk about Eric Embry.
That's funny, man. I seen him in Philadelphia a few weeks ago, and I never met the guy in my life. Jamie,
good for you. You're lucky.
I just looked over there and I'm like, Jamie, is that Eric Embry? And man, he did kind of look kind of rough, but I mean, I guess he's old now. But at any rate, I would like to tell you, we're talking about, when we first came in, this was early 90s, got our first break my first break in Memphis, and your boy, the Brooklyn Brawler, had come in for something, and Steve and me had went out, and we ended up staying at the bar longer than, I think it was me, Jamie. You remember Mike Lazansky?
Yeah, I think he's dead now, ain't he?
Yeah, he passed away. Shoot, I can't remember. It's been some years now. But anyway, you remember we used to stay at the Super 8 in Memphis, and this was the deal that screwed that deal up. So me and Lombardi, we go to the bar, whatnot, and so we're coming back, and the guys are passed out in the room asleep. Nobody's answering the door, and we don't have a key. Fuck, Lombardi kicks the fucking door in, bro. And I don't know if you remember those doors, but those were some big ass doors. Well, the next morning we get back from TV, we go to TV, we get back, and all of our stuff that we had in the room was in garbage bags out front. And then Super 8 had called the TV station, and Lombardi tried to pin it on me. And Lawler calls me in there and says, and this was like, I guess it was later in the day or maybe the next day, something like that. Lombardi's gone. Okay. But he had told me, yeah, he said, you did it. I said, and you remember how little we were back then. I just looked at him. I said, King, do I look like I could kick one of them doors in? And that's when he realized,
oh my God,
that's when he realized it was not me. So that got the heat off of me.
Right. Yeah. I didn't know that because, I never stayed there. Because I lived in town, so I didn't know what. But oh my God! Well, hey, Steve's a great guy, and it's just hey, we were all young back then. We all did.
It was all wild.
Believe me, we all did stupid wilds. If I could take back half the stuff I did when I was younger, I'd be a better person. But then again, you got to bring some to get some. You take them off like a cabbage, all head, no rear.
Exactly. Yeah. There you go. I like that. Yeah. All right. So I always say this to Wolfie D. I would say if you were to draw a professional wrestler, it would look like Sid. Tell me about the first time you met him. I'd love to hear some Lord Humongous stories.
Well, yeah, let me tell you. Well, I mean, when I first met him, he was just working Memphis part-time because he was still very green to the business. But as you said, if you could, the prototype of a professional wrestler would be Sid without a doubt, But anyway, I met him. He was a good guy. He worked a little part-time in Memphis, never really too full-time. Sometimes he'd make the loop a few times, but nothing, on a regular basis. Yeah, well, anyway, softball. I was having another run in Kansas City. I went back there, and by this time I was allowed to do a little bit more than I did before because I'd been in the business like 8 years or 9 years by this time, so I thought I knew everything. Mm-hmm. But anyway, Robert Fuller was in touch with me, wanting me to come to Alabama, Continental, which was a great territory back then. And this was 1986, I believe. Mm-hmm. And he says, Bruno, we want to do that Lord Humongous gimmick again. He goes, but we don't have a guy that that size and that look. Do you know a guy that would fit the bill? Mm-hmm. And I said, yeah, but I don't know how to reach it. Now, bear in mind, this is 38 years ago or whatever. I'm worse on math. There was no cell phones back then. There was no internet. There was no way to, track somebody. So I just remembered that Sid worked construction for a guy named Bobby Jones up in Memphis. Mm-hmm. And I knew that Sid's father-in-law, at that time, he's, passed away now, of course, years ago, but he had a car lot in West Memphis. Mm-hmm. So I just started doing detective work. I called Bobby Estes, that was his father-in-law's name, and asked him if he knew how to get a hold of Sid. And, and this is no weird thing. He didn't have no phone at his house at that time. Right. But that don't mean he's poor or whatever. Back then, everybody didn't have phones. It was just different back then. True. Yeah. Right. So anyway, long story short, between the father-in-law and the construction guy, and I finally left my phone number. Well, I was staying at like a rent by the week place in Kansas City. I wasn't going to live there for my life. So anyway, he finally called me. I said, man, are you interested in going in the business full time? He goes, where? There in Kansas City? I said, no, Alabama. And I told him the whole deal. Mm-hmm. And he went and had a nice leather outfit made. Not outfit, but, they have those straps and whatever. Yeah. And the hockey mask, because he bought it at, sporting goods, a place, whatever. And, Robert Fuller just said, Bruno, don't you bring me some slob. I said, Robert, this guy here, believe me, he's not a slob. He's built like a brick shit house, And he said, okay. So that's when I first got to know Sid. We started in Continental. I think it was 1986, if I'm mistaken. And we worked the first program we worked, which is, Sid was on the job training. And he'll be the first to tell you, he was green as a pepper tree back then. So they put him in a long program with Danny Davis, who, Wolfie, I know you know very well.
Oh, yeah. I talk about him quite often on here.
Yeah. So here's what we did. Every single night, everywhere we went, I mean, not at the regular towns, not Birmingham, Montgomery, Dothan, whatever, but like all the spot shows, whatever, the match was the same. Danny Davis would be there in the ring, and they introduce him, they introduce Sid, Lord Humongous, introduce me. And, I'm a little bit heavy now, and whatever, but back then I was skinny as a rail, so it got over when I would take my shirt off. See, now I just look like a normal, I don't have any kids, but I'm just saying I've got the dad. You know what I mean?
Right.
But back then I was so skinny I looked like an Ethiopian. So I would take my shirt off, and like as soon as I started pulling it off, people would start popping, and I'd put it back on. I'd get, quit doing that, blah, 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 whatever. I would say, Danny Davis, you're not even good enough to wrestle Lord Humongous. I'm going to give him the night off. You're going to wrestle me. That's what we do every night. What we do is, the audience would be like, kick his ass, Daddy, boo, whatever. And when Danny would turn around, I would pull this powder out of my pocket or whatever, and I'd throw it in his face, and I would kick him and punch him or whatever. And naturally, the routine, he'd start coming to and start hulking up, basically to pull the strap, so to speak, like Lawler, But, and then as soon as he'd grab me, like he's ready to, pounce on me,
finish.
That's when Lord Humongous would come in, hit him from behind, pick him up, give him the power bomb, boom. So Sid had started out at first. They would do that every night and have literally their match was 45 seconds.
Sid really had a good position right there. That's a hell of a night off.
And as they progressed, they would incorporate more and more of Sid learning more how to work. That's how he learned how to work. And working with, that's why they put him with Danny Davis. And I've seen Sid, as I got to know him and travel with him, I've seen him get better as he went along. He was a good learner. He's a very smart guy. And but the other thing is, when I seen him, when he was really angry and pissed off about something, he's somebody you don't want to F with.
Oh no,
I bet.
No. I couldn't
remember
I worked him, but I worked him later in his career. I would have hated to have worked him when he was just starting out. But if Danny Davis can't teach you how to work, you are not teachable. I'm sorry.
Well, right. Well, that's true. Well, let me tell you, Wendell Cooley down there, and I like Wendell. I have nothing against Wendell, but I'm just telling the true story. One night I don't remember what town it was, but they had Sid working with Wendell that night. I think Danny couldn't be there, or it might have been two towns. They had Danny, and I don't remember what the reason was.
Right.
They had Sid with Wendell Cooley, and I went to do the same gimmick. Now, as Wolfie will tell you, a lot of times in these small places, the baby faces and the heels don't dress together. They're on opposite sides of the building. They're not in the same locker room, dressing room, whatever. So we were going to do the same gimmick. I'm going to challenge Wendell. I'm going to take my shirt off. We get in the ring, and Wendell goes, "Fuck that! I ain't doing that." I when I would have said, he says, "What?" He said, "Fuck that! He ain't doing it." And Sid stiffed him. He got him in some kind of front chin locks. I don't know what it was. I'm not good with that, but some kind of maneuver that he could have put him out almost. And I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. I've seen, and I'll tell you later about I've seen Scott Steiner do that to a guy named Gary Young.
Okay.
Yes. I was in the ring for that.
Yeah. Wow.
It happens.
Yeah. But anyway, that's getting ahead of myself. But but then me and Sid traveled together. Well, what happened was Continental was a good run. I loved working there. But what happened was at one point, Robert Fuller kind of fell out with the ownership of the company, because a guy named David Woods bought it from Robert and Ronald Fuller. So Robert ended up leaving. So they brought in another great guy. Believe me, this is all business. Nothing personal. I love him. Close friend. Eddie Gilbert came in to take over the book.
Yeah.
However, Eddie Gilbert came in as the new booker, and he brought in Paul Heyman as his manager and assistant. Well, 2 and 2 adds up to 4 every day. Okay. I was the manager under Robert Fuller. Okay. Yeah. Now, Eddie Gilbert, the new booker, is coming in with his own manager.
Manager.
I said, okay, I definitely, I'm not going to have a good position here, if any position. So I gave my notice, and I called Lawler and said, I'm ready to come home. And then he brought me back home.
Brought you back home. Memphis, Tennessee, baby.
That's it, baby.
Best of times. I mean, I've talked about this with a number of dudes that worked the Memphis territory with me and with you and all that, man. The guys today, they just, I don't think they have as much fun outside the ring as we did. Now, like you said, you might want to take some of it back, and but damn it, we had fun. You know what I mean?
Oh, we did, and that was our life. That was our world. I mean, I never had more fun, and I also never had more anger and hatred as I had at home in working in Memphis territory. Because we all, there was like a group of us that were always there, and the other guys would come and go, But we had love-hate. Sometimes we'd love each other. Sometimes we'd hate each other. There was heat.
Absolutely.
With Bill Dundee, Doug Gilbert, Jamie Dundee, Wolfie D, Downtown Bruno, Lawler, this one, that. There's always going to be an issue because it was the way it was. There's a girl that's involved, or there was some money that was involved. There was something involved. There was always some. Like, you know what? It kept it pretty damn interesting. Now, looking back, I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Exactly, man. That's what I'm saying.
I gotta ask, man, and I know we're kind of jumping ahead here, but we can always jump back. That's the beauty of this podcasting here.
Right.
Okay, so first off, Downtown Bruno may be one of the coolest sounding names if you think about it. I mean, just take yourself out of the name and think, man, that's a pretty cool name. But then they stick you.
I made it up. I mean, Bruno's my real name, my first name, but the downtown thing I came up with.
Dude, that's cooler than the other side of the pillow. But then they put Harvey Wippleman. Was Downtown Bruno too cool of a name, you think? Or who came up with that?
No. Who came up with Harvey Wippleman or Downtown Bruno?
Harvey Wippleman.
Gene Okerlund and Gorilla Monsoon came up with that.
For real. I got to hear that story.
Well, no, let me tell you what the deal was.
Sure.
I think 2 reasons. One, WWE always copyrights your likeness,
Sure.
And Bruno being my real true name, they couldn't copyright it. And that's one thing.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, of course, WWE's worldwide now, of course, and it was well on its way to being worldwide when I went up there. But it was still a lot of a Northeast territory. Because let's face it, when the business was all territories, WWE or the F at the time was the New York territory, the Northeast territory.
Right.
Well, they had their Jerry the King Lawler up there was a guy named Bruno Sammartino.
Yeah. Right.
So
got it. Duh.
So
okay.
So that was the reason for that. But so they were trying to come up with a name for me, and they first said Henry Herman because it was right about the time that Pee Wee Herman was in the news for getting caught playing with himself in an X-rated theater or whatever.
Right.
So that being a Pee Wee Herman type suit and whatnot. But then Vince himself said, "Well, Henry Herman, it sounds a little bit too like we're pushing it, like it's obvious, you know what I mean?" So they came up with Harvey Whipple, which was fine. But then when we went to the ring, Gene Okerlund introduced me as Harvey Wippleman instead of Harvey Whipple, which I don't care. I don't care. I was getting to go to work for the biggest organization in the world. They were going to pay me. I don't give a damn what they call me. So that's where that came from. That was fine with me. Yeah.
off the cuff, but also a little bit planned. I like that. I'm enjoying that for sure. And you managed some great guys. One of my all-time favorite wrestlers as a kid was the Warlord, man. I mean, I know you worked obviously out the blocks. You were Big Bully Busick, but then you ended up with Warlord, and then you switch him around with Sid, and then back and forth here and there. But
Kamala.
Kamala. I mean, we're talking Giant Gonzalez. I mean, but tell me this: how was working with Warlord?
That was great. He was we didn't travel together. He traveled with Davey Boy Smith because they were bodybuilders, workout guys.
Sure.
And they would always, go because they went to the gym and they, drank the protein shakes, whatever.
You weren't a gym guy?
Who, me? Yeah. Yeah, Jim's beer joint. But but I never traveled with Terry, Warlord. But
that
we got
sense.
along fantastic. Just a great guy. I just did a virtual signing with him, it had to be 2 years ago now, when the pandemic was in its main thing. You couldn't have people grouped together. So the guy rented a hotel room up in Albany, New York, and me and Warlord sat there and had all these autograph things, and people would join in on the internet online. And tell Warlord to sign that picture to John, and hey, tell
it was K&S WrestleFest probably, right?
It was a guy named Captain's Corner, Nick.
We know Nick. Yeah, we know Nick. Yeah,
Nick's a hell of a guy. I love that.
Yeah, he really is. He's made that business on his own too. It's awesome to see. So big friends.
Yeah, and I'm going to Ohio April 22nd for a guy up at a fest up there at a toy place, and then I'm going to the 80s WrestleCon in New Jersey.
Nice. Yeah.
May 6th. So they keep me busy. I like going to these washed up conventions. I mean, Legends reunions.
I do too, man. I really do. I've done about 4 this year, 4 or 5, and I love them. And apparently Jamie hates them because he don't want to show up to them. But it's a whole different podcast right there.
I mean, you know what? I get paid to sit around and tell old stories and laugh and stuff. And it's like a paid vacation. I mean, how can you complain?
Dude, that's exactly what I've tried to say, but I don't know. We both know he's mentally unstable, so.
Well, there you go. But it's funny. 90% of the guys I get along with, 95% of the guys I know them. And what if there's a guy that I didn't like or didn't care for, like Eric Embry? I just stay away from that person.
Exactly.
And if Eric Embry walked up to me at 1, if he was there, and actually would have a conversation with me, I would tell him what was on my mind and let him tell me what was on his mind. And I would love to be able to, when the day I finally die, no, we mended the fences,
Sure.
But just when he came to Memphis, it was just bad. It was really bad, really bad.
I don't want you to tell or say anything you don't want to say, but I don't think I know the story. And if you want to tell it, you can. If you don't, you don't have to. I'm not asking.
Well, it's like this. Eric Embry came to Memphis. He apparently, I never worked world class, but apparently he did a good job booking in Dallas and brought their houses up and everything, which is great. Good mind for the business and everything, and that's fine. I won't knock that by any means. But the day he came to take over the booking in Memphis, little man, Jarrett asked me to pick him up at his hotel and bring him over to Channel 5. I said, okay, that's cool, no problem. I'm the utility man in Memphis. They always have me do whatever. Right. He'd be like, oh, hey, Bruno, hey, how you doing, man? Okay, yeah, I'm looking forward to working with you, whatever. He gets in my car. The first thing he said was, just letting you know right now. And that's how he talks, just letting you know right now. It's going to be a different ball game now. I'm not going to be dealing with all you Lawler guys. So maybe you just ought to find you a place to go because you're not going to be here. I'm not going to use you. But and the first day, I met him in passing before. The first day I ever really met him. What the fuck have I done? And if I find out you tell Lawler that I told you this, you're going to be gone today. Well, I almost broke my leg tripping to run to find Lawler and tell him.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I might have stopped and let that son of a bitch out.
Yeah.
No shit. So basically what happened after that was, and guess who he made the manager of the territory? Jamie.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's about the right time.
Because Jamie says he loves Eric Embry. That makes total sense, actually.
Yeah.
So.
There you go.
Eric Embry.
Man, Eric Embry, I just talked to him about, a few months back, man. He runs a pizza place right here in Kentucky, like down the road from me, like somewhere by Bowling Green or something.
Okay.
I always loved Eric Embry. A lot of people didn't like Eric. I loved Eric. Eric was, I stayed in the Dallas Sportatorium when he lived there, when we would take the bus down and shit. I stayed a couple of times because I didn't have nowhere to be. So I just said, fuck it, I ain't riding the bus back. I'm going to stay with you, Eric. And we just sit in the fucking Sportatorium and do whippets and just fucking do whatever else comes along. But I've always loved Eric Embry. A lot of people don't like him, but I've always loved him.
So guess what? Eddie Marlin, Little Man, and Lawler got together and formulated a job for me that I wasn't working for Eric Embry. I was a referee, and they turned me completely into a referee right there. And then they put me in charge of the rings. So I didn't work for Eric Embry. I worked for the company. But check this out. And Jamie will back me up on this. This is true. When I was phasing out of being the manager, I was still a heel manager, but even though he wasn't using me, he would have me at the ring with fucking Ken Raper or somebody, he was really burying me. So one night there was a battle royal at the Mid-South Coliseum, and said managers had to enter the battle royal. So Jamie was in the battle royal, and I was in the battle royal, and of course all the wrestlers too. But check this out. I hadn't thought about this in years, so the subject just came up. This really pops me in my mind. And Jamie went with it. There was nothing against Jamie. I'm not knocking him by any means, but you know what? Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. What's this? The bell rang. Okay, everybody go at it. And it wasn't like the Royal Rumble one at a time. Everybody was in there waiting, and I guess the rules were you can't attack nobody until the bell rang. Whatever. Right. As soon as the bell rang, I ran across the ring and attacked Jamie. Nobody told me to do it. Nobody said, let's see what happens if that. No, I just did it. And the fucking place erupted. They wanted me to be. And honest to God, I'm not bullshitting, blowing smoke up my own ass. The rest of the freaking guys in the ring more or less stopped and just looked. They couldn't believe it. And
it's awesome.
We get the back. Eric Embry goes, what'd you do that for? Who told you to do that? Blah, blah. And I'll never forget it till Dad died. Lawler goes, well, looks like you just got a brand new hot baby face. And you're going to fuck this up? So we ended up working a big angle. Me and Jamie worked together for weeks and weeks and weeks everywhere.
That's awesome.
I ain't going to sit here and lie to you. It was Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels match.
No.
It wasn't. But it was getting over. And so check this out. Okay, now y'all got me on a roll now. How much time do we have? How
much you want?
Okay, I didn't know if it was a time limit. Okay.
Yeah.
So how about this? So Eric Embry resented the piss out of me because I got over without his help, acknowledgement, or approval. Okay. So then he brings in Jackie Moore, Miss Texas.
Yeah.
And, well, Bruno, your angle with Jamie's over now. I want you to work with her. But we're going to try to build her as a killer. So we want her just to attack you and squash you, and we want you to even get color, and you're not even going to get nothing in on her, and blah, blah, blah. So, shit. I said, okay, well, I'll become the referee and the ring guy now, so who gives a shit? So we were by this time we were at the Pipkin building. The Coliseum was under renovation or whatever. So she attacks me, beats the shit out of me, throws me into the post. I get the color. I'm bleeding like hell. I'm selling. I'm dying. I can't even get it back into the ring. I'm counted out. Whatever. Yeah. Okay, this is Eric Embry's deal. But the next week, Jackie, Miss Texas, works with Dirty White Girl, little beautiful young lady, but little skinny girl, very, slim, skinny. I'm watching the match from the back. Dirty White Girl is slinging Jackie around like Jackie's, like Dirty White Girl's Ronda Rousey, and Jackie's fucking, what the fuck? And so I can't beat her, but this little slim, tiny little girl is slinging her around. I went fucking nuts. I started yelling. I was kicking chairs over and shit. Lawler and Eddie Marlin had to calm me and he'd calm me down. I swear to God, I was going to, if I wasn't a Christian man, which I am, I'd have killed Eric Embry that night.
Yeah, no doubt.
So then after that, I'm calmed down. They told me to go on home. We'll let somebody else, deal with the ring tonight. Just go. Just let Chili Willie and them deal with the ring without me. And so anyway, about a month later, we're at a spot show somewhere up in Tennessee or Kentucky. I can't remember. So I'm refereeing, and Eric Embry's working with Jeff Jarrett.
Mm-hmm.
So Jeff says, tell Eric, do the test of strength. Tell him to do the test of strength. So, of course, obviously what that means, put your hand up, do the play mercy.
Yeah.
So, okay. I said, Embry, do the test of strength. Huh? I said, put your hand, do the test of strength. Huh? What's that? And I said this to Jeff. I said it so fucking loud, everybody in the audience heard it. I didn't give a shit. I said, hey, Jeff, our booker don't know what the test of strength is.
Oh my God.
Yep.
What did Jeff do?
He said, tell him to play mercy. No shit. The guy's supposed to be booking the fucking territory. I don't know what the test of strength is.
What'd you say?
It's like, oh God. So we get in the back and he's cussing and he's yelling. And Steve Kern told him, Embry, sit the fuck down. Kern would have backed me up. Me and Kern are a pretty good friend. He'd back me up.
Steve's great. We love him.
We had Steve on, man. He was really cool to come on for me, man. And we had a great time with him.
Oh, he's really cool. He's a really, really smart guy, and
absolutely.
He understands the business. But I swear to God, with everything I hold dear, I would have a conversation with Eric Embry if he was somewhere I was or whatever. I'm not somebody that you'd have to, punch my mother or something for me to hate you forever. You know what I mean? But I mean, something like that. Let's have a conversation. Eric, why did you come in like that? Why didn't you just say, look, I'm going to make some changes. Why don't you see if they can use you as a referee or maybe find another place to go, whatever. And I would have said, well, look, Lawler and them will keep me here as long as I want to be here. So if you want to use somebody else in my position, I'll see what else they can find for me. That would have been fine. But the way he just came, there was no reason.
Up in your car.
There was just a piece of shit. Yeah, in my own car. Yeah.
Man, that ain't right.
Shit. Let's take a quick time out and get a word from one of my dope-ass sponsors, and we'll be right back with more Live and in Color with Wolfie D.
This is Steve Bowtie Bryant here. Back in the 90s, I was a pro wrestling photographer for the South, and I released what might have been one of the original sets of indie trading cards. I ran across some of these original sets. They were up in Randall Fanning's attic all this time. PG-13 rookie card, Ricky Morton, George Weingroff as the Sheep, Chris Champion, Reno Riggins, Billy Montana, Gary Valiant, the Scorpion, the Medic, Rick Reynolds, Jeff Daniels, Mephisto and Dante, Ben Jordan, Steve Neely, Marcus Woodrow, Clinton Charisma, Little Farmer John. If you'd like an opportunity to get these cards, contact me now. You can get them for only $49.99. Contact me at Steve Bowtie Bryant at iCloud.com. Get your set now while supplies last.
We've all got those parts of our house where the internet just won't go. Well, if you had wall-to-wall Wi-Fi from Xfinity, you could worry less about dead spots. Because with wall-to-wall Wi-Fi from Xfinity, you get fast speeds, reliable connection in every room, and power for all your devices even when everyone's online. That's wall-to-wall Wi-Fi, only on the Xfinity 10G network. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Actual speeds vary.
Support for Live and in Color with Wolfie D is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped recently launched the Ultimate Men's Hygiene Bundle, the Performance Package. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code WOLFIE at manscaped.com. If my math's correct, that's about 8 million balls.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
Let me ask you this, man. You know, a lot of guys that have come through Memphis, like, I didn't like Lawler, or I didn't like Jerry Jarrett, or blah, blah, blah. I feel, and I know Lawler gave you your break and everything, but were you also a Jerry Jarrett guy? Because I felt like I got along with both of them, and they both like kind of believed in me and Jamie and stuff.
Oh my God, me and Jerry Jarrett, he was like a second father to me. He would always send me a birthday card, a Christmas card to my other son, to my Mississippi son, whatever, and I would always send him a Father's Day card every year. Oh yeah, and that goes to show you, me and Jerry Jarrett were like father and son. I was at Eddie Marlin's funeral. I didn't go to Jerry Jarrett's funeral for one reason. I knew there would be a bunch of AEW guys there, and I didn't want to have no involvement with my name involved in anything that was not WWE. I won't.
Right.
I'm trying to think.
Further than that.
I did go to it, and I don't really remember. I think there was. I'm trying to think there was. I don't know all of them, but I don't really think there.
Well, the main guy that owns that company was
sure.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. I don't know him. I probably might have seen him and didn't know who the hell he was. But
so I went to Jerry Jarrett's house. And had a long visit with his grandson and his wife. And
very cool.
That was more personal anyway. You know?
And it totally is. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, okay, I've got to ask this question. I know we talked about Sid, and I didn't get to sneak this one in because you were telling some great stories there. But everybody knows Sid and softball, right? The guy loves softball. Right. We also know Jerry Lawler loves softball and that kind of thing. But when it comes to Sid, do you know much about his softball playing?
To be truthful with you, I honestly don't. And I've been asked this question many times. I honestly don't.
Well,
I never went to a game that he was in.
Yeah, well, it's not that specific. It's more about just generic. He must be pretty damn good at softball, though. Have you heard at least that rumor?
Well, I've heard that. But, I mean, he's a power hitter. He's a power hitter. He's in shape, so, you know.
Yeah, I was just curious if he was the pitcher, if he was the first baseman, if you knew any of that. So I get it.
No, that's what I mean. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think he would. And that is just purely speculation, but I'm saying I wouldn't picture him being the pitcher.
Right.
I would picture him with being the first baseman.
Yeah, listen, it'd be a great first baseman.
What I can tell you from my stepdad was a huge guy, and he used to play softball a lot, man. And they pay some guys. I know Sid got paid.
I knew your stepdad.
Yeah, you knew Pete. But yeah, he used to get paid to do that shit, man, and play in them leagues and tournaments and all that shit. Right. And yeah, they pay probably like my stepdad and Sid as well. They pay him to go to the plate and bat. Put him on first base or something like that. But they're not out there to run around and catch balls. They're to hit it out the park.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, my next question is, then I'll follow up with a totally left field question since we're talking softball. I'm just kidding. But what college did you pick up your PhD? I know you learned from the School of Hard Knocks, but where did you get your PhD from? Because you became doctor.
Well, you know what? I got a BS, an MS, and a PhD. Everybody knows what BS is. MS means more of the same, and PhD means piled higher and deeper. If that answers your question,
it's perfect. That's perfect.
I'm gonna throw one in here that I didn't know, man. I didn't know this either because I just happened to look this up. I didn't know you were the women's WWF champion. I didn't know that happened.
Yeah, so I can honestly say that I was the champion of the world for 24 hours.
Seriously.
And it's true. And I don't have to throw in the women's part when people tell me,
Exactly.
Hey, nowadays you do not have to throw in the women's part. So,
there you go.
That's why I'm drinking Miller Lite right now.
Cheers.
Miller
Cheers.
Lite. Mm-hmm.
I love it.
I'm not going to say another word about it. Everybody can read between the lines.
Exactly.
Miller Lite. Thank you.
Hey, Bruno, I don't know if you told us about your guy that runs your website so that people can check this out, and I'll be sure to do all that. Is there anything else you want to plug where you're going to be? Well,
I'll just say this. No, I mean, I'm going to be at the, like I said, at the Toy Fest in Hartville, Ohio, April 22nd, and I'm going to be at the 80s WrestleCon May 6th up in New Jersey. But no, and of course I'm going to plug Mary McCall's Wrestle Talk because I think it's a great podcast, and I'm sure they'll reciprocate and plug y'all.
Yeah. Oh, they're great about
it. The guy that runs the Facebook page, Downtown Bruno Bookings and Appearances, Wolfie, he says he don't know if you remember him or not, but he used to wrestle. He still does occasionally, but he runs a wrestling school. I'll plug that for him. Met Pro Studios in Kingsport, Tennessee. He's a great guy, one of my closest friends. His real name is Daniel Jones, but his wrestling name is Dangerous Dan Matthews. He said you and him had a hell of a match for Burt Prentice's promotion at several years ago.
All right. The name sounds familiar, man. And I apologize to people all the time when they ask me if I remember this person or this thing or that. I just don't. I haven't retained all of it for one reason.
No, I know what you mean. If it's a guy that I didn't know real well, I wouldn't remember it either. But he just said y'all had a hell of a match on for Bert's group, and he's a really good guy. So I'll plug Net Pro Studios, and I'll plug that website. And I guess while we're at it, then we'll get back into talking about funny stuff. But if anybody wants to buy a Downtown Bruno shirt, just go on Pro Wrestling Tees and, Google or whatever you call it, search Downtown Bruno. Yeah. And, they got Downtown Bruno shirts on there, and I would love it if people would buy some. So, and
I'll put the link for that in the show notes, okay, brother? So we'll do that for you. Great. I got a 2-part quick question here because I want to sincerely know this answer. So Vince McMahon.
Don't make it quick. I'm having a great time.
Okay. So Vince McMahon, name one thing about him that would surprise you, okay? And name another thing that is a misconception about him.
Well, a lot of people think Vince is this big uppity Connecticut Yankee. Vince is a Southern boy like us. He's from North Carolina.
Right. Okay?
Right. A lot of people don't know that. And the misconception is that he, in real life, is like the Mr. McMahon character he portrays on TV. Vince is a great guy. He's treated me like gold. He's always been there for me. So anybody else can say whatever they want, and I can say nothing but good things about that individual. I love him.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I've heard that consistently from people in other podcasts, we should say, and they have said that same thing. So that's very cool. So, okay. All right. I got to ask this question. This is the one that I've been thinking of the whole time. How effing cool is it to have someone play you on a not a small off-network TV show, on one of the largest sitcoms in the nation? How cool is that, dude? Somebody is playing you.
Brother, it's great. He's actually became one of my best friends in the world. I was actually at his wedding 2 weeks ago.
Dude, that's awesome.
He helped, and it was so cool. We had, up until the show started filming, the season that Downtown Bruno got introduced, we had Zoom meetings between me and the writers and Ryan Pinkston. I'll plug him. Great actor, great guy, Ryan Pinkston.
Yeah.
Just unbelievably great guy. We became very close friends. He did everything he could to talk like me and act like me and behave like me, because he's from Maryland, Baltimore area.
Yeah, right.
Talk like a jerk off that was born in West Virginia and from Mississippi. Now, so he had to really do a lot of adapting to try to be me. And he just put his heart and soul into it, and we became very close. And it's cool that Dwayne has been such a great friend to me, and never forgot, where me and him were so close ever since he was like in the single digits age-wise, And so that's awesome. And I became close friends with a lot of those guys. Matt Willie, who plays Andre the Giant.
Great.
Benjamin, who plays Jake Roberts. We became, all of us, we're just, I don't want to leave nobody out. The guy that plays, Kevin, who plays Macho Man, we've all became really close friends.
I love the guy who plays Sheiky. I think that guy's great, man. Wow.
Yeah, Brett Zard, great guy.
He does a great job. My God. I'm like, that guy, he should just take over for Sheiky, you know? Come on.
Yeah, a great guy. All the guys. And the guy that plays Lars Anderson, Mike Holly is his name.
Okay.
We stay in touch. All of us stay in touch. And we all had a reunion at Ryan's wedding last week or 2 weeks ago. And he married his beautiful bride and had a great wedding. And it's sad. I had to leave the reception early because that was the night that the wedding took place in Austin, Texas. I had to leave the reception early to get back. I was scared to death because that's the night that those devastating tornadoes came through.
Oh, man. Dude.
I was going to be a dud at the wedding. I had to leave. I just went back and was watching the weather, and it was scary. But bottom line is, getting back to the original question, yes, it's great. The greatest thing besides the great friendships that I've made, particularly with Ryan, but the rest of the guys too, is two things. One, that Dwayne, really remembered me and stuck up for me and was there for me all these years. And the other thing was, when they were filming in Memphis, I was, I'm a consultant on the show, which is great. I point out different things about, like they would ask me, in Memphis wrestling, did y'all do this or what did y'all do? Of course, they adapted it for their little Hollywood standards, but they kept it as true as they could. And the other thing was, I always made sure, and they always knew it, let me know what time the meal break is. So I get there right at that time. And it's funny, one of the actors that I became friends with called me the reverse Santa Claus because I would sit there and eat all the good food. I always bring a big old plastic sack with me. And when I left, it was full of Cokes and bottles of water and potato chips and Slim Jims. And they called me the reverse Santa Claus.
Reverse Santa Claus.
And I'd leave with a big old sack.
You ain't dumb. You're OG,
Yeah. But yeah, man, I was going to say that too, as far as, man, I think it's really cool that, Rocky has remembered you and taken such care of you. I almost feel like it's given you just a resurgence in your career in a way, man, because it's like as soon as that show came on and you're on it and then, he's doing all the nice things he's done for you, the vehicle and all that, it's like it's helped you in more ways than one, but just for him to do that for you, I think it says a lot about him. And, really me and him were never like super cool or anything. And I don't believe he likes Jamie. And just remind him next time you see him that I'm not Jamie and I don't have anything against him. But anyway, I think that's cool, man, that he took care of you like that. And someone.
Imagine that somebody don't like Jamie.
Yeah,
Seriously.
Exactly. Well, when you go on YouTube and tell everybody that when you was a kid you called The Rock the N-word, that's probably not the smartest thing to do. But at any rate,
as if Dwayne is ever going to forget that,
Exactly.
The fact that you got to remind folks. Come on,
hey, well,
again.
Jamie screwed me over more than once, so I'm not afraid to say the truth. But Eric Embry,
what I've really liked about it too is it showed a lot of the soul man Rocky Johnson's. It's kind of like his biopic almost. You know what I mean? And I really love that because I love that era of wrestling. I was born too late for it, but in my later days, I actually have dug deeper into the 70s pro wrestling. And I mean, you can't find a magazine or you can't find an article that doesn't mention Rocky Johnson in it somewhere. How close do you feel like that actor is portraying the soul man?
Oh my gosh, in every possible way. The only thing is, this is nitpicking, of course. The only difference is Rocky was a lot thicker than Joseph.
Oh yeah, I figured they shrink him down a little for TV, I think, or something. I don't know, but I mean, I don't know about The Rock's character, So
yeah. And the guy that plays the grown-up Dwayne, the one that wrestles, and I can't even pronounce his last name. It's a very long New Zealander type name. But all of the guys. But I mean, he does a tremendous job as the grown-up Dwayne. And here's the funny thing. Now, everybody says, "Oh, you wrestlers, you're a bunch of actors." No, we're not. It's such a different world. I've never been around acting before. Let me tell you.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Guy that plays the Rock, the grown up Rock, and the lady that plays Rock's mother. Okay. You hear them on the show. When you watch the show, they talk, as close as they can to, the Rock and Anka, but they're both from New Zealand, and the cameras are off, and we're sitting there at the lunch table and just, talking and visiting. They're great, nice, but I can't even. And I'm not an actor, so I can't do the gimmick, but I'm going to try. Like I said, "Hey, good to see you. How are you?" "Hey, Mike, it's quite to see you." That's how he talks in real life. And it's like, how does he turn it off and become, "Hey, do you smell what the Rock is cooking?" I mean, and the woman, the nicest lady, well, Stacy's her real name, that plays Rock's mother. Super nice lady, is as nice as you could expect, want somebody to be. But she's, I've heard so much about you. It's so great to finally meet you. And I was like, I can't. And I'm not doing either one of their acting justice. But I'm just saying, I don't. It's amazing how they do that. And the thing is too about, I didn't know this either about acting or filming a TV show or whatever. It might be one little scene. Just a little small thing, like just for example, if me and Wolfie were in a scene, the actor playing me, and if there was an actor playing Wolfie, "Hey, Wolfie, come over here. We need to talk." "Okay, about what?" "You'll see." Okay, boom, that quick. Then they would maybe do that 15 times.
Yeah.
Not because the actors were screwing up or nothing, because they would do it. Okay, on this one, we'll have the camera on the actor playing Wolfie. Okay, on this one, we'll have the camera on the actor playing Bruno. This one will have the camera on both of them. This one will, okay, this time, Bruno, say it like you're angry. Okay, this time, say it like you're happy. And I guess they go into editing room, and who knows? I mean, I'm not trying to pretend like I know, because I don't. But whoever makes those decisions, say, okay, let's use that one. So in other words, it might be me saying the thing to you in take one, and your reaction that they put in the show might be the reaction from take 15.
Yeah.
Right.
It ain't like, just go through the whole way. And I'm watching this, and I'm like, oh my God, I can never do this. It's so boring.
Okay, so tell me, I think I read this maybe was not true, but tell me you didn't cook eggs sitting on the toilet with a hot plate.
Never. I don't know where they come up with that. I don't care. I think it's hilarious.
It is funny. It's a total rib. It's hilarious.
It's a rib. It don't bother me. I think it's funny.
But that's got to be a somewhat somewhat misconception. Maybe it was just a way to make you seem down to earth, right? Who knows?
I'm comedy.
Sure. Yeah. I love the scene where you and Bam Bam are out there talking to the younger Rock. This is on the show, of course. I love that scene. I think where the tires are flat.
Yeah, and I went, oh, yeah, my tires are flat. Okay, so what? Fuck, if that would have really happened, I'd have went fucking berserk. I didn't have to buy 4 tires back then.
That's why Jamie and Wolfie bought retreads all the time.
We did. We sure as hell did.
Yeah, I mean, but it's funny, and Wolfie will tell you this. There used to be for real heat, though.
Oh, yeah.
People really were ready to kill us sometimes, which we were doing our job right. But
right, that's awesome.
Yeah,
we had that conversation. Who was it? Was that? Who did we ask that question to about people jumping in the ring? Oh, Ronnie Garvin and George Weingroff, because it's happened to me like more than once, 2, 3, 4 times, I think. Has it happened to you? Somebody jump on you?
Yeah, many times. Many times.
Yeah.
Lots of times. I would just roll in the ring.
Right.
And I remember one night in Louisville, a guy tried that shit. I rolled in the ring, and Hickerson stood up. I was managing Hickerson that night. Hickerson stood up, and by the time the cops got there, they took him down. And Wolfie remembers the cops in Louisville we were all buddies with them, But I'm telling you, man, the heat was real. It was real.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a lot more fun working like that. But man, as much as I hate to wrap this up, Bruno, we can do a part 2 if you want to, man.
Hell yeah. Anytime you want to.
Yeah, absolutely, man. This has been a blast, man, a total blast. And I want to thank you very much for coming on, man, and doing this with us. I know we had a little scheduling issue, and then Jimmy had an internet issue, and you know, but we got it worked out, man. And I'd be glad to have you anytime you're available.
Well, I'll tell you what, like I said, I've got to go to this Ohio thing, and then I got to go to this New Jersey thing. Maybe late May or something, early June, let's do part 2, because I still ain't told you the stories about watching Scott Steiner stretch a guy in the ring to the point he almost killed him. I told you this story about Scott Steiner almost killing Oscar, the rapper, in the dressing room in Niagara Falls, New York.
Yes.
I mean, we didn't even scratch the surface, y'all.
Oh, I love it.
I'm writing all this down. I have about a whole half a page left, so we're good. Yeah. I'm writing these down.
we try to generally keep this
to it, Sonny Pruitt, take a pill, go over the hill like Jack and Jill, baby.
Yeah,
like
baby.
Mama says, it bees that way sometimes.
That's right.
That's right. Well, Jimmy, what do we got coming up next?
Well, you know, them people out there like to ask Wolfie D anything.
Okay. Again, thank you, Bruno, so much. And everybody listening, I hope you have enjoyed this. But hang on just a little bit longer as we come back with Ask Wolfie Anything.
Thanks, y'all, and have a great time. And I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Bruno. You're the best, brother.
Take care, my friends.
Take care, buddy. DJ, hit the music. All right, we are back with Ask Wolfie D Anything. And first off, let's just say thank you, Downtown Bruno.
Yeah, that was fun.
Dude, that story about Eric Embry, I'm still laughing about that, bro.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I mean, you know, even the nice guys have to be pissed at somebody sometimes, right? Yeah, I mean, if they weren't.
I've seen Bruno lose his shit before. I mean,
I'm sure.
Yeah, he's a nice guy, but he don't take no shit neither.
yeah, and I love that. Dude, that's amazing, because if you think about it, you know, I'm sure he's some people have thought he would take shit, you know?
Yeah. But he's salty.
Yeah, he's definitely salty, man. Wow. Eric Embry, I've we've talked to him with Jamie before, and Jamie's like, I love him. I don't know what everybody else feels about it. Well, yeah, now we understand.
As Paul Harvey would say, now we know the rest
of the story.
Now you know the rest of the story.
I love it. Well, as usual, your listeners have followed us in droves to getting us some good questions here today. So the first one I want to start with, this one is the Plastic Chic from @GMBMPW. He's got a really good question. So recently, Arn Anderson was asked to build the Ultimate Wrestler using like 7 different breakdowns. So, you know, just an example, Arn did this. You know, the 7 different ones are these: knowledge, strength, physique, stamina and drive, skill set, reflexes, and promo. So he said knowledge was Bryan Danielson, strength was Ron Simmons, physique was Lex Luger, stamina and drive Ricky Steamboat, skill set Shawn Michaels, reflexes Brad Armstrong, promo Ric Flair. So I would love to hear your breakdown of this, in your opinion, of what would build the Ultimate Wrestler. Okay? So the first one, yeah, I think you can do it. So the first one is
one, I guarantee Arn did not do that off the cuff. I don't think.
Yeah,
he had to have thought about that.
Let me tell you, son, don't ever come get an autograph from me. Anyway.
Yeah.
My spot.
Anyway, so knowledge. Who would you say that you know? Yeah, just maybe do it from the dudes you know. Just, you don't have to go to the modern guys and the old guy. I'm just saying maybe the guys in your group that you knew from Memphis or whatever, TNA. So who would you say out of all the workers that you knew had the most knowledge of the actual wrestling business?
So we're just talking like a historian, or are we talking about in the ring knowledge?
In the ring.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be Lawler.
Okay. What about strength? Who was the strongest dude?
Either that I've been in the, we'll do this to people that I've been in the ring with. Let's go with that.
All right.
So that would have to be either Perry Saturn or maybe Rick Steiner. Although I only worked once or twice. Perry, I worked all the time.
Yeah.
So I'll go with Perry on that one.
Okay, not even Hawk or Animal or anybody.
Well, I mean, yeah, but again, I worked with Perry a lot, so
you had the tit for tat with him. Yeah, I get it. Okay, that's perfect. I love it. Knowledge, Lawler.
Yeah.
Strength, Perry. How about physique? Who had the best physique?
Ooh, think here. Who has the best physique that I could think of, man? Because there's been around some freaking monsters, man. Some of them didn't make it, some of them did. I guess I don't guess you can really, in his day, you can't really argue with what Arn was saying as far as Lex Luger, because I mean that's what they called him, the total package. He fucking
right.
He was a tall dude and he was big. But shit, man, now there's a lot of guys look like that. look at Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
Freaking Nate. Some of these guys are huge. I mean, but yeah, I might even have to go with that Bobby Lashley as far as physique, man, because he's a monster.
Yeah, that's a good one. He's definitely chiseled out of granite for sure. Okay, so what about stamina and drive? And I don't mean, we talked about needing drive and ambition. I think this would be the ability to reach another gear in the ring. Whenever you're like dog tired and you're like, holy crap, I'm out of it. Maybe you never felt that way. Maybe that's Wolfie D.
Probably Tracy
Smothers? Yeah. Okay, what about overall skill set?
Fuck, man. There's so many guys that can do a lot of shit. And that looked good. Everything looked good. I'm going to go with Shawn Michaels, man.
Yeah. I mean, that's hard to beat, right? What about reflexes?
And I'm assuming that means kind of like if something goes bad and you got to on the fly real quick. I'm not sure what reflexes would really mean.
Well, Arn put Brad Armstrong. Does that help? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really understand what they mean by that, but reflexes. I guess like agility, quickness, something like that.
Sure. Was there anybody that was there before you were? Because I know you had some good reflexes. Like,
I'm not really understanding what that really means, honestly. But I mean, I know what reflexes are, obviously. But
sure.
As far as in the ring, I've never taken the little doctor hammer and hit it on anybody's knee. So I'm not really. Reflexes. Man, I guess I'll just go with. Brad was smooth. If that's what he means by that, because you hear people talk about Brad Armstrong, and he was so smooth. He was so smooth. Maybe that's what we're getting at there, and I can't argue with that because I mean,
sure.
I worked him. I know. Yeah. So I'll stick with Arn on that one. Arn. I mean, if Arn says it, I'll go with it.
Who can argue? And then also promo. So obviously we did our top 10 promo, that kind of thing.
Yeah, we said it was Flair, wasn't that? Both of
right.
Number one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's there. He said Flair. So okay. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to beat, man.
Yeah.
That's definitely hard. Well, anyway, thanks, Sheik, for that question, and I appreciate Wolfie for those very thought out answers. Actually, so yeah.
My brain's burning.
All right. Well, this next one will take it down a little bit here. So this is Bobby Murray from Facebook, and Bobby's always got some interesting questions. He says this one is, ever have a match turn into a shoot with one of the guys? Now, you take out Icy Hot, take out Ox, or the Corinth, Mississippi incident. Take out all those. Have? Okay.
I told the one it happened with Eron Hatchet.
Yeah.
When Ray Havoc. I told that one. The same guy. But yeah, he tried. He got gassed up by Jeff and them and Frank. I guarantee it. And
yeah,
he was a amateur wrestler, and I did it for like a year and a half in high school. And who could take who down? He came in there trying to shoot with me, and he couldn't get me down. I think he got him frustrated, and then I kind of like muscled him out of the ring. And Jamie was at ringside, and then he picks up a chair and throws it at me. I forget the sequence, but he picks up a chair and throws it. And as he throws it, of course, I got to put my hands up to block it and slap it down.
Yeah.
And at that time, he like rushes me and for a takedown and backs me, like tackles me onto the bleachers. And then Jamie jumped on his back and started hubcapping him and calling him the N-word and everything.
Oh, God.
I mean, of course, Jamie's going to do that.
Yes, of course.
And he's using the edge of the hubcap and like,
oh, dude,
like that.
Yeah.
And got off, and then we went in the ring and settled shit down and whatnot. But I'm trying to think if I'm sure there's been other ones with stiff shots and stuff like I'll get pissed off sometimes, and I know this guy, and he's a good dude. He just pissed me off. I did it to Derek one time, and when Derek was on, we told the story of where I punched Alan in the face.
Yeah,
I was hammered and I didn't know who he was. But I did it to what was there? There was a kid in that TCW, a little bitty Asian kid, and he did something, and I kicked the shit out of him a couple of times and started cussing him because he fucked up spots and made us all look stupid. And but anyway, the first one I was going to say was Barry Lindiff that worked for TCW as well. It was a simple thing, man, and it was like he hurt me for just being clumsy and dumb at the moment. He's a smart guy. I like him. So, but anyway, it was just the spot at the end of the match as a tag match. I was supposed to grab his leg, but boom, he takes the face bump. I pull him out of the ring. Right. Well, I pull on his leg, and instead of taking a face bump, he like sits on his ass. And when he does that, he sits on my shoulder. Crunch! I can feel it. Like one of my, or both of them, really have been dislocated so many times. It's like I knew what happened. So like crunch, and then it goes right back in. I yanked him out of there and put him up against the daggum railing. And I just started booting him in his chest as hard as I could.
Oh, God.
About 3 or 4 times. And, he knew he deserved it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure cussing him the whole time. Stuff like that happens, and, in a situation like that, like I said, he knew if it would have been me and I'd have done something and somebody kind of threw a few stiff shots on me, I'd be like, yeah, I probably deserved that. That was dumb. But I fortunately am a better worker than that. I usually don't do that.
Well, so do you think it's 9 times out of 10 an accident and it's just like you should not make those mistakes? Or do you feel like sometimes they just get sloppy and they kind of let one go? Or do you feel like sometimes they mean to do it?
No, I don't think necessarily they mean to. No.
Yeah. It's just so then a receipt is really just like wake up.
Yeah, or you get caught with, if they intentionally throw something hard at you and, okay, motherfucker, and then your receipt after that, or then the match just gets really stiff because it's tick for tack,
Right.
You're laying it in, I'm going to lay it in, and the Harris brothers used to say that to me, Donnie, man, I love working you. And I'm like, why? He said, because, man, you lay it in, man. Everybody else is afraid to hit us. He said, you're not. And I said, well, you ain't afraid to hit me? We're just going to do it that way, buddy.
I thought, yeah.
Too crazy, I'm sure you'll whoop my ass, but I'm gonna let you have it just like you're letting me have it.
Right. I mean, I thought that's how we were doing it. Man, recently, it's been a few years now, but there was some kind of match that Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman and were in a match together, and I think Braun lets a knee go to Brock's head or something.
Punches him, yes.
Yeah, and then Brock gives him a quick receipt, and you can tell it rings his bell, and you can think there's no way that I would ever want to hit Brock harder. That would receive a receipt, because that dude could floor you quick,
Yep, but he also at the same time got to keep it professional.
Of course,
he's not wearing an indie card where beat somebody up and let that be it, because you can't do that on TV. You can't. Right. That's why you don't see really. You might see some receipts, but you don't see no shoots on TV.
Yeah. Well, and I've explained it to people before, that level for sure, what you're saying, but I've explained it like they're giving you your body. You know what I mean? You're giving them your body. So you're saying, okay, I trust you enough to make this work here. Yeah. And you took advantage of that, or by your carelessness, you could have hurt me. And that's why you get these receipts, so. Yeah, but hey, I mean, it makes sense. And heck, man, I mean, if you think about it, like if you were out in public and somebody cuts you off or somebody jumps in front of you in the store, you're in line or whatever, I mean, you're going to say something to them. It's something very similar to that. You don't really let that go. So why would you expect, anyway, I think everybody understands, but those are great stories. Some of those I've never actually heard, or if you've told them, I didn't remember them. So that's awesome. So Bobby, thanks you for that question. He's got one more, and it's kind of a little offshoot of that question. So let's just say this. If a shoot broke out, and I know the answer because he gave questions, and I actually feel like I know the answer to this already, but if a shoot broke out with the crowd and you had to fight your way back to the locker room, which former partner would you choose? Now, hearing the Noré Havoc story, it changes my answer maybe a little bit. But he says Jamie, Brian Lee, Flash, Damien, or Sin.
Brian Lee.
Yeah, exactly, right? I mean, nobody's going to clean house like that dude. I was impressed by Jamie. I mean, maybe not the...
Well, Jamie's always had my back, man. Anytime anything's went down, he's always had my back. I've always had his. It's, kind of the...
Right. Thing, Maybe other than the expletives or whatever, but yeah. Colorful words, let's just say that. But yeah, Brian Lee's the no doubt choice right there. I mean, I gotta imagine Sin would have your back. Obviously, Sin's gonna.
Hank would have my back, but
yeah, Damien, Flash, they're gonna have your back. But Brian Lee's gonna have your front. He's the street sweeper.
Yeah. The killdozer, baby.
Yeah, the killdozer. I love it. Man, that's one guy I think about getting on here, man. I just hope we can do it eventually one day. So if he hasn't just wiped the business out of his brain. So
I feel like that's kind of the deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what do I do to these guys?
I don't know, Wolfie D. I mean, We've been tag team partners now for 94 episodes or 93. I haven't figured that one out yet. I mean, so we'll see the next 100. Y'all need to start paying us some money for this stuff, y'all. This first 100's been rough. We're starving over here. Anyway. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding, y'all. We love you. Anyway, that's it for today, Wolfie D. Let's go ahead and wrap it up if you want.
Well, wrap it up. I'll take it. Been a fun episode with old Bruno. And let's see who we can get next week. If anybody, we may do another top 10 or something like that we ain't done in a minute. But we'll figure it out like we always do. And hopefully put out a good show for you again next week. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And Jimmy was not kidding. Please send us money. All right. We love you. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling, the podcast that's based on the old school but can still help you find the good stuff from today. Jimmy Street and the Plastic Sheik, Jared, are the undisputed tag team champions of the wrestling podcast world. From thought-provoking topics to superstar interviews to action figure expertise. This team does it all, and all they ask is, Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling. Every other Thursday, wherever you listen to podcasts.
That's right, it's the Talk of Middle Tennessee, the channel you love to hate and the channel you hate to love. It's Brian Turner from Brian Turner's VHS Rehab. And if you're looking for matches from Wolfie D to Jerry Lawler to Dusty Rhodes and the team that put a pimp before your eyes and a goatee between your thighs, Booty Call and Athena, go to lostwrestling.com. See, I made it easy for you. Brian Turner's VHS Rehab. Booyah.
Join me, Gene Jackson, for the Jackson Interaction Podcast, where I'll be doing one-on-one interviews with people from the world of professional wrestling, as well as stand-up comedy. You can get them anywhere podcasts are available in both video and audio form, but you can find them all at genejacksonpod.com.
Hey everyone, this is Shane from Insane Shane's World. I release wrestling figures of enhancement talent, mid-card wrestlers, and wrestlers that you never thought would have a figure available. So if you're interested in adding a really cool and rare figure to your collection, then don't hesitate to contact me at shamtheman73@gmail.com. That's SHAMtheman73@gmail.com. You can also join my Facebook group. Just search Insane Shane's World.
If you're a fan of rock and music, I'd really appreciate it if you took a moment to check out my podcast. It's called the Decibel Geek Podcast. We've been doing it for about 10 years now. We talk about Kiss. We talk about Ozzy. We talk about Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses and Metallica. We talk about all the legends from the 60s and on, up to brand new bands that you should be hearing about today that you're not going to hear on the radio. It's Decibel Geek. Wherever you find your podcasts, you'll find us there. If you love rock and roll, I can almost guarantee you're going to love my show.
So that was another great episode. Hey, Wolfie, tell them where they can find you on social media.
Jimmy, they can find me in the club, bottle full of bub. I'm just kidding. They can find me on Facebook. My personal page is Warren Wolf, WOLFE. I'm on Instagram at WarrenWolf13.
You can always find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Live Wolfie D. Here's the thing. Wolfie always has offers for his autographed photos. He has a selection of some awesome photos from throughout his career that he will autograph and personalize any way that you want him to. Just contact him either directly at his personal Facebook page or through any one of our other pages, and we'll make sure you get in contact directly with Wolfie. Get those photos, right, Wolfie?
Yeah, I've got some good stuff on there, to help with the podcast.
Folks, if you can't get out to a show to meet Wolfie D, there's nothing like that, especially for the fans of PG-13 and Wolfie D. And before we go, you can always find me, your host, Jimmy Street, at James Rock Street on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
And hey, Jimmy, before we go real quick, I just want to add in there, from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate, first of all, the work you've done for this podcast. You have worked your butt off. Secondly, the people that are liking the page. Beyond that, even more, is the people that are listening, and we really appreciate that.
Yeah, and remember, guys, the podcast drops a new episode every Monday at noon, and our past episodes are streaming now on demand on all major podcast formats. Thanks again.
I got a cap for your dome. He got a cap for your dome. I got a cap for your dome. He got a cap for your dome. He got a cap for your dome. And here we go. The original white boy that came out sagging, not bragging, don't be hating, cause I'm spitting the truth. Still livin' in color, plum rush your mother, utilize a hubcap, unlike any other. Back in the day, I was N-O-D, and I was P to the G, plus the 1 and the 3. In case you forgot, they call me Wolfie D. Been cloned and copied so many times, tired of suckers taking credit for what is mine. You know who you are without me name dropping. Wrestling's first white boy coming out hip-hopping. Been doing it like this since 92. Laid low for a while and you thought I was through. Listen real close to these rhymes that I've injected. This shit's so sick it makes your ears get infected. Mad skills, no faking, there is no one great. Cause I'm bringing more folks than Obi-Wan or Vader. Now here here to play games, so you better beware. You don't like me, so what? I really don't care. Like time I keep ticking and I can't be stopped. You sucker step to the side unless you wanna get dropped. When I finish, I'll straight knock you out. Please allow me to tell you what it's all about. I'm gonna wind it up, then I'm driving it home. It's Wolfie D, baby. Huh. I got a cap for your dome. I got a cap for your dome. We got a cap for your dome. We got a cap for your dome.
This has been a James Rock Street production.